Welcome back. I want to talk to you today about change and people being all up in their feelings about stuff. Feelings at work and how people, act out their emotions when you're trying to implement something that is super cool and will definitely bring so much value to the organization. Whether you know it from a personal level or you're thinking about strategic change programs that are much bigger, you're always gonna get people who just don't see a vision. You're always gonna get folks who are not as motivated or even interested in what you have to offer. And that's all part of the process. You must not get disheartened. But how do you deal with this? Because at the end of the day, you're human, I'm human, we're all human, and we've got feelings, we've got emotions. And when people don't want to do what we ask them to do, or when people aren't interested in the things that we're interested in, we just kind of give up on them and say, yeah, whatever, and go about our business. The truth of the matter is, no matter how small the initiative is or how big it is, you will come across resistance. Resistance to change is normal, and we just need to learn how to deal with it and how to frame it so that we can resolve it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We are going to talk about change management, people, their feelings, the resistance, and how we can reframe that. Okay, so what are some of the emotions or reactions that we can see when people are resisting change? We have anger, people get angry. People start to ignore what you're trying to implement or ignore your ask. People start delaying their tasks, delaying the things that they need to get done, or moving really slowly at doing it. You hear gossip and rumors. Some people start questioning you for every little thing and really openly challenging what you have to say. Some folks are exhausted or they make others get exhausted. You experience laziness. You experience negative energy and sometimes even incitement. Maybe not incitement to violence, but incitement to put up further resistance. So what are some of the reasons for this? As I said, it can be super annoying and we don't want to deal with this, but it happens. So let's take ourselves outside of our own shoes, put ourselves in the shoes of others, and think about what they might be experiencing to cause them to react in this way to what you're trying to implement. Some people simply don't want to change. They like the way things are being done, and you coming in and making changes for them is just making their lives harder. Whether it's good for the organization or good for the rest of the team or not, they don't care about that too much. They just are not willing to change, and they do not like the idea of changing. Some people don't trust that what you're asking them to do is going to actually make a difference to their lives, to their jobs, or to the organization. They have not seen enough proof from you that this is the right thing to do, and so they resist. Some people lack the skills and the knowledge to make sense of the change that you're trying to implement. They simply don't understand it, whether it is that they don't have the technical knowledge or the technical expertise, or it has been communicated in a way that is way over their heads. It's full of too much jargon. People don't get it. People don't see the benefit. So it's either that they don't have what it takes to understand it in terms of the background skills necessary, or it just wasn't communicated clear enough. Either way, they lack the information, the knowledge, and the skills to make sense of the change, and so they resist it. Insecurity and lack of confidence. Maybe you're asking too much of the people who need to run the change once it's over, and they don't feel confident enough in themselves to carry this out, and so they resist the change. Sometimes change can be a threat in terms of we want to bring artificial intelligence in to take over some of these operations that we do. Is this going to impact? If somebody feels that this might impact their job, then they're not going to want to help you to implement that change. If their livelihood is being threatened, they're not going to want to be a part of that change. Some people also resist because they were not consulted. They are involved in the operations of this day-to-day thing all the time, and no one came to them to ask them their opinion or their ideas on this new thing that you're trying to implement. So people feel left out, right? They don't feel a part of the change from the very inception of it. So to help you to come and implement something that you didn't even come to them and ask them their opinion on in the first place, you're going to get resistance. Now, as you can see, a lot of these emotions, probably all of these emotions actually, we've actually acted them out ourselves, whether it's at home, whether it's in a group or a club or, some kind of organization outside of work or even in work. We've all acted like this at some point in time because change is always happening. It's always going on. And we are hardwired to like how things are, and if we don't understand how this new change is going to bring about real benefits, tangible benefits for us and the things that we care about, then we're not going to want to do them. In understanding these, common signs of resistance and how it links to people's feelings, in empathizing with this, then we can address them appropriately. Remember that these are behavioral signs that we're seeing, and they don't necessarily mean that the person that we're dealing with has a personality problem or they don't know to work within a team. These emotions are natural when it comes to change, and it's down to who is implementing the change to manage these emotions and the feelings, this roller coaster of feelings that the organization is going to go through. And there's set ways of doing this, from training to ensuring that the communication is clear, concise, and inclusive, to making sure that how you communicate the change is on a level that people can understand and in a format that is easily accessible and easily understood for the different types of learning or the different preferences that you have within the organization. So I'm talking about some people like to have a complete breakdown in text. Make sure that you have that. Have some video content so people can hear and see what you mean by the change. Have one-on-one contact with people so that they feel comfortable. Give use cases of where this has worked before in a previous organization so that they can be sure or to start to build confidence in the change that you're trying to implement. We're all people at the end of the day. We all have feelings. And when it comes to implementing change, it's about managing those feelings, not just managing the initiative from idea to inception. If you're liking this content, as usual, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.